Cleveland didn't just stumble into another quarterback debate. They may have walked straight into a full-blown conspiracy, allegedly of their own making. One week, the city's buzzing because a rookie is turning routine drills into highlight tape. The next week, that same rookie disappears behind a vague label that reads like it was typed by a lawyer, not a trainer. Fans aren't dumb. They saw Shadur Sanders torching camp reps, talking calmly on the mic, zipping throws that looked factory calibrated, and carrying himself like a starter who happens to wear a temporary backup label. Then, without a limp, without a rap, without even a frown on the practice field, he's suddenly managing something. Managing what? Managing attention, managing optics. Because the timing, reportedly the day after he embarrassed veterans with touch, timing, and command, looks less like precaution and more like panic. And panic is exactly what some Browns watchers think they're seeing. Not a medical event, but a narrative one, allegedly. Here's how the story feels to people inside and outside Cleveland who have whiplash from the spin. You draft a magnetic rookie, but into a crowded room, you fence him off from first-team timing under the guise of learning the system. When the buzz somehow survives the firewall, you label him tight, day-to-day, precautionary. Then, when the internet refuses to quiet down, you reintroduce him at QB3 or QB4 and say the word competition like it's holy water. Fans can smell that choreography from the cheap seats, and they're saying it's not stewardship, it's sabotage, allegedly wrapped in corporate language. Cleveland has done this dance before. The franchise has turned the quarterback position into an annual rites of spring ceremony. Promise, hesitation, retreat. And in a media environment where there are more cameras at camp than at some regular season games, a mystery injury that no one saw is like trying to hide a billboard with a napkin. When receipts exist, silence reads like strategy. What's peculiar is that the football case for a calm trial isn't crazy. This roster is built to win 20 to 16 games with a defense that can suffocate drives and an offense that just has to avoid gifting short fields. That kind of team needs a quarterback who sits tall versus blitz without panic outlets, who throws on time to second windows instead of first read bailouts, who creates clean explosives off play action rather than hero ball YOLOs. And the camp clips, the ones fans keep replaying frame by frame, suggest Shedeur fits that recipe. Disciplined base, patient eyes, layered accuracy, controlled aggression. Maybe it scales on day one, maybe it sputters for 2 quarters and then clicks. But it speaks directly to what Cleveland's offense keeps punting into the lake. Rhythm, timing, and a sense of inevitability when the ball leaves the hand. If you've watched him, you know why the building gets quieter when he spins it. If you've watched the current offense stall, you know why chants start earlier every week. Quick note, if you're into this breakdown style, tap subscribe so you don't miss the next game week cut up. It really helps the channel keep digging on this saga. What pushed this from grievance to gasoline was the public tone shift. Early messaging made Gabriel sound like the heir apparent, calm, system fit, playbook forward. Then the games happened. Safe calls, safe numbers, safer field position, and an offense that looked like it was trying to protect the lead it didn't have. Overnight, the organization that barely said Shedeur's name started sprinkling him into interviews, teasing practice throws, feeding hope in little drips. Analysts called it what it looked like, damage control. You don't pivot from be patient to maybe it's time unless you're feeling the walls press in, and the walls are pressing in from the concourse where fans are chanting his name before warm-ups are over, from the locker room where veterans reportedly admit the ball looks different when he drives a dig on time, from local radio where hosts are playing the same clip of a perfect glance route until the board out begs for mercy, from national shows where talking heads are saying if you're going to lose playing it safe, at least find out if the kid can change the math. The subplot that keeps resurfacing is ego, coaching pride, front office sunk cost, the old guard's reflex to keep the lid on a rising brand that markets itself. Shedeur isn't just a quarterback prospect, he's a camera magnet, a clip engine, a player whose poise sells without a press release. That doesn't play nice with a culture that wants to sequence every reveal. There's a fear, allegedly, that if he takes real reps with the ones and the light comes on, you can't put it back in the lamp. There's also a fear that if he gets those reps and stumbles, critics will say the staff rushed him. That's the tightrope. Start him and risk too soon, sit him and risk too scared. But this is the NFL. The only unforgivable sin is indecision. The longer you delay a clean answer, the more the locker room writes its own. Players aren't blind. They feel the tempo. They know when a check down is a choice and when it's a flinch. They know when a route is capped because the quarterback never holds the backside safety with his eyes. They also know when a rookie hits a 7-step, hitches once, and lets a 20-yard and cut rip like it's practice air. Quiet belief is still belief, and belief, once it tips, is irreversible. The league won't rescue Cleveland from this either. The NFL is incredible at cosmetic discipline, sock heights, towel tucks, end zone choreography, but it loves order more than truth. If a viral rookie vanishes under the fog of team discretion, Park Avenue isn't parachuting in to audit the trainer's spreadsheet. That means the only pressure valve that exists is performance pressure. Fans paying for hope, a defense tired of carrying field position, receivers running cardio for empty targets, and a coaching staff staring at 3rd and 8 while the stadium chants for a player they've kept in bubble wrap. If you're still here with me, toss a quick like so this gets in front of more Browns fans. We're going to be tracking every rep of the evaluation stretch once it starts. So what would a sane rollout look like if the Browns wanted truth over optics? Give him 2 full install weeks with the ones. Timing with starters can't be faked. Script a 15-play opener that lets him own the pace. Quick in breaker, RPO, give, take, flood to stress the flat defender, keeper to change the launch point, dagger to test intermediate anticipation, then 1 max protect shot only after a prior completion has softened the safeties. Define 3 green light checks that belong to him and only him. A pressure answer he can tag in any look, a boundary ISO he's empowered to take when leverage screams it, and a condensed set beater that punishes soft corners at the sticks. Protect with personnel honesty, TE help on edges until the rush respects the rhythm. Go empty only after you've earned it. Live by 3 rules: no late outs, win the down spacing battle, and punt if the picture lies. If he's not it, the tape says so. If he is, the city exhales and the room aligns around results instead of resumes. According to multiple local voices, that's close to what's already being whispered. An evaluation window after the bye, a real sample size, a chance to see if the practice vibe survives live bullets. Of course, there's still the cloud, the mystery injury cloud. People want to know if the sore arm line was medical or managerial. The team says precaution. Reporters say we never saw it. Fans say we've seen this pattern. The likely truth sits in the messy middle. A real twinge plus a real incentive to tap the brakes until the room is ready to stomach the hard choice. But if that's the case, say it like grown-ups. We slowed him for 3 days because of tightness, and we also wanted to protect install integrity while we discussed our plan. That candor would disarm half the outrage. Instead, the vacuum got filled by speculation, and the speculation carried receipts, mic'd up clips, unbroken throwing sessions, zero visible treatment. When you leave people to connect dots, they draw the ugliest picture possible. And right now, that picture says the Browns are more afraid of being wrong than being late. Meanwhile, Gabriel is living inside the most unforgiving frame in sports. The starter everyone believes is keeping the seat warm for the crowd favorite. He's had 1 competent game, 1 bad one, and 2 where the offense felt like it was trying to win the time of possession trophy. A lot of that is play calling. Check down ecology can make anyone look like a spreadsheet W, but the eye test matters. It's not numbers, it's posture. Does the ball come out before a corner can drive through the catch point? Does he hold a post long enough to open the glance on the other side? Does he ever turn down an open intermediate dig in favor of a 5-yard flat when the game is begging for blood? If the answers keep trending the wrong way, the only honest response is to test the alternative. Not because Twitter said so, but because the locker room knows. And when the locker room knows, the clock is already ticking. There's a way this ends that doesn't break anyone. You announce an evaluation plan, you give the rookie a defined practice runway. You explain to the vets exactly what's being measured. You protect the current starter's dignity by speaking about process, not punishment. Then you let the games tell the truth. If Shedeur sputters, you recalibrate and ride the defense. If he stabilizes the offense and hits 2 explosives a half, you ride the wave and never look back. Either way, you stop lying to yourselves because the worst outcome isn't a rookie mistake. It's institutional denial. Fans can handle learning curves. What they won't forgive is being gaslit by a depth chart that doesn't match what their eyes and your practice tape already know. Cleveland has spent decades mistaking caution for wisdom. It's not. Wisdom is choosing clarity over control. The franchise finally has a quarterback who makes football look organized. Feet married to eyes, eyes married to timing, timing married to trust, and it keeps trying to manage the lighting instead of letting the camera roll. Maybe that's fear of being wrong about past investments. Maybe it's an allergy to unplanned stars. Maybe it's just habit. But habits can be broken in one drive. You call a keeper on play 2, he hits the crosser on the move for 18, the crowd inhales like it forgot how, and suddenly the building remembers why it loves this sport. That's what's at stake here, breath. If you felt that, consider subscribing. I'll keep tracking the leaks, the installs, and the first live series when it finally happens. Until then, expect more whispers. Soreness, precaution, re-ramp, competition. Expect more leaks that say the ball came out hot in a red zone period against the ones. Expect more players to answer questions with shrugs that sound like, we see it too. And expect the decision to land the only place it ever could, in the middle of the field, under lights, with a defense that doesn't care about optics and a city that's ready to believe again. When that snap comes, Cleveland either keeps punting on potential or it lets a quarterback take the wheel and drive the story where it always should have been headed. Like, if you enjoyed the breakdown, drop a comment with your read on the precaution label, and most important, subscribe so you don't miss the first snap when this evaluation window opens. If the tape tells the truth, we'll call it. If the spin tries to replace it, we'll call that too. See you after the bye.